That's legal. That's legal. Yeah.
Stay with him, Terry. Stay with him. Stay with him. Stay with him. Okay.
And now, our host for the program, George Guido.
Welcome, everyone, to our final show of our high school football 1986 preview series. Today we'll be concentrating on 3 schools as opposed to just 2 schools as we've done the previous 4 days this week. Today we want to take a look at the 1986 Fox Chapel Foxes, later on the Hampton Talbots, and the final part of our show dealing with the Plum Mustangs. Naturally, we were with Plum up at Slippery Rock State University during the middle part of the first week of training camp, and we visited the Fox Chapel and Hampton people both on their respective high school year of Hampton High School. And we'll be back with the Hampton segment right after this. It's in Allegheny County where the Talbots want to turn it around and get going on a winning season. And some of the other coaches we're talking to in the Greater Allegheny Conference showing some respect for the Hampton program and thinking the Talbots may just do that. We'll find out the opinion from Coach Ray Peters. Coach, you are getting some respect in some other circles in the conference. You've brought the program a good ways in just a couple of years. What's your outlook for the 86 season?
Yeah, I think as far as the players, and we looked at our personnel and just recently, and we evaluated them, and we found that the players, the team that we have this year offensively, we're going to be maybe a lot better than we were last year. People that are playing, we compare them to the players that we had, and we think that we have a good offensively. Defensively, we think the same thing, that overall we're going to be better on defense than we were last year. And so we're looking forward to a pretty good season.
Now, coming into the 1986 campaign, a couple of years ago, you more or less had to bite the bullet. You had a lot of sophomores in during the 84 season, but now those fellows are seniors.
Well, the kids, we played a lot of seniors last year, and we lost 17 seniors. But because of injuries and because those seniors have been playing and starting for 2 years, the kids that are seniors this year and the juniors that are playing, they've all had a lot of playing time and got in a lot of playing time. And so even though we lost a lot of kids, the kids that are playing and are starting now do have a lot of experience.
Well, about the future, you have somebody like a Scott Hart being recognized in national magazines, apparently going to play some major college football, get Hampton on the football map in that regard. Does that mean anything with the younger kids? Seeing a fella in his senior year at Hampton getting all the recognition, might that generate some interest in the younger grades at Hampton?
Yeah, there's a lot of interest, and just seeing all the college coaches coming into the school, visiting. Everybody wants to know, well, what school is he from? What school is that from? The other thing is, there's always a question: is if you're not winning all the time, do the people that do they show any interest? Colleges show any interest in losing football teams or teams that don't win every games? And this kind of shows the people in the township, the people in the district, that even though don't have an undefeated season, that if a kid's a good football player, that people, no matter how many games you win, the people are going to be around.
And finally, if you could name for us your assistant coaches and their particular duties here at 86.
Okay, my defensive coordinator and Jeff Wateska, he does a really good job, and we have a well-respected defense, and I think we do a really good job on defense, and he coaches the receivers and defensive backs. Jock Brand is my offensive line coach and my defensive line coach. Mark Argenis coaches the tight ends and the defensive ends, and Jack Wateska coaches the offensive backs.
Coach Ray Peters of the Hampton High Talbots joining us on our TV3 preseason show. Scott Hart next up for the Talbots, and we want to ask Scott what it feels like, the recruiting process and getting that national recognition. Scott?
At first it started to be like pain because it's been getting pretty hectic, but it's starting to slow down, towards the season since it's coming in. But it's still more or less phone calls now, not literature and letters. And I'm receiving a lot of stuff from like Penn State, Pitt, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, a lot of Big Ten schools, UCLA. So.
Well, does that prove to be any distraction for you as you try to get ready and make a good showing in your senior season, Scott?
I'm really putting it behind me and mostly just working for a good season this year and trying to keep that behind me is like the least of my worries. I want to have a good season this year, and then I'll worry about that after the season.
Well, Well, Scott, we hear about these camps, Metro Index Camp, some of the other camps around the country. I know Penn State has one. What actually goes on at these camps for the benefit of our fans tuning in that really aren't familiar with these sorts of things?
Well, at Metro, we broke up in seniors and then underclassmen, and then we worked on offense, we worked on techniques and speed, getting off the ball. Defensively, they taught us pass rushing and different kind of movements, lateral movements down the line.
Scott Hart of the Hampton Talbots, one of the team leaders here in the 1986 season. Next up is Gary Galuska. And Gary, how have the practices been going for you so far this season?
Pretty good so far.
Well, how about these 3-a-days? They got to be obviously tougher than the 2-a-days. What kind of taxing does that put on your body?
It's pretty tough. You know, you got the 2 practices with pads, and we have this evening practice, and that's not too bad, just kicking teams and that, but it's pretty tough.
What positions will you be playing this season?
I'm playing wing back and strong safety.
You have a favorite out of those 2?
I like defense. I like to hit.
Now, on offense, do you guys expect to be passing more this year, or what kind of scheme do you think Hampton will have?
Yeah, we didn't pass a lot last year, but this year we got a lot of new passing plays and got some good receivers, good quarterbacks. Should do pretty good.
Now, I believe you have scrimmages coming up against both Apollo Ridge and Burrell. What do you look for, even though you're a somewhat experienced player, what do you look for in these scrimmages? What do you try to do? Do you have certain goals there, certain things you try to work on?
It's more or less just, you know, practice for the big games. You know, you just, whatever.
Gary, thanks so much. Joe Lagnese joining us now on our preseason show. Joe, what sort of outlook do you have for the Hampton team here in 1986?
Well, I look for us to be in the middle of the pack probably. We have a lot of tough competition, but our first unit's really looking good. It's just depth we have to worry about. We don't have a lot of depth. It all depends on injuries probably, how well we do.
What position will you be playing, Joe?
I'll be playing split end and strong cornerback.
We're more familiar with you, of course, as a reserve on the outstanding basketball team here you have at Hampton. Is there such a thing as successful sports and some of the people filtering in a winning attitude to another sport such as football, or is this something we're talking two altogether different sports?
I think it's altogether different. There's not many basketball players that play football. Most people, you know, work with one sport, but it helps my attitude a lot more coming from basketball to football because it's such a winning tradition in basketball. And I'd like to be in football, but it helps a lot with my attitude.
How would you evaluate the overall attitude of the team going into the season? Is it where you want it, where you think it should be?
I think it's very well. There's a lot of psychos on defense, a lot of crazy people.
What you need.
Yes. And offense, you know, it's working good. We're not going against a lot of competition on Saturday, how we do.
Hey, Joe Lagnese of the Hampton Talbots. Coming along next, Ed Frazier, the place kicker you've seen in a lot of our footage here at Hampton. And Ed, is it true you kicked a 52-yarder during practice?
Yeah, that was when my leg was nice and fresh.
About how many hours or how much time per day do you practice place kicking, and how many years have you done it?
Well, this is my second year except for in 8th grade, and we come over about 45 minutes a day in between soccer practice.
Now, you're in that unique situation where you're, you know, wearing 2 hats with the soccer team and with the football team. Does that prove any particular difficulty for you?
No, not with our coaches. They're letting us work it out real easy.
What is the longest you've made during an actual game?
I think last year was around 35, but we didn't try anything farther out.
Hey, will you, I guess, add another dimension to the game, the fact that if Hampton gets close down in a 4th down situation, they could call you on. Do you feel any pressure on you during a game, or do you feel when the drive looks stalled, you're thinking, uh-oh, I'm going to get called in? What are your feelings on the bench?
I don't know. You're pretty nervous, and then just you have to wear it. Just try and get used to it. Pretend like there's no pressure.
Hey, Ed, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck to you and the Talbots here in the 1986 season. Well, the Hampton Talbots, as we speak, they've had some tough 3-a-day practices for the first 4 days of the practice week, and they'll go down to the 2-a-days after their scrimmage with Apollo Ridge on August 16th. But the feeling here is in Hampton that they can really make an impact on the Greater Allegheny Conference, especially the fact that Scott Hart is getting a lot of national recognition. They tell us Johnny Majors called him at the house the other night, and the people in the Southeastern Conference and the Big Ten are really interested in him. So it should be a good, positive type season for Hampton High School. We don't know what their record's going to be, but I think things are on the up and up attitude-wise, and with the sort of team they're going to put on the field here at Hampton under the leadership of Coach Ray Peters. Stay tuned as we're coming up with the segment on the Plum Mustangs that we taped a little bit ago while they were on training camp at Slippery Rock State University. So we'll be back with the folks